I was thinking back over the last almost 20 years of my life when I wrote my first book. And I had been coaching from the time I was 15 years old to the time I was 25 years old. I started at 15 as a junior pro basketball coach, and then at 18 became a head elementary coach. At 22 became the youngest head coach in Tennessee. And so in my mind, I had 10 years of experience. And I said, there's got to be a manual. There's got to be a way to help other coaches that don't have to make the mistakes that I've made, that didn't motivate the wrong ways, that didn't have the knockdowns I had. So I literally sat down and wrote a book called Changing Lives Through Coaching. And little did I know when I wrote that book that would open the door for the next 16 books. But more importantly, I didn't understand the full magnitude of writing that book. I didn't understand that now I had a message. Now I had a talk. Now I had a reason to call on people. Now I had a reason to get in front of people. And I began using that book to get speaking engagements. Now here's the interesting thing. I wrote that book for coaches. But oddly enough, guess who didn't buy it? Coaches didn't buy it, right? Because coaches are stubborn people. I know because I am one. And I went out into the world and I had this little book called Changing Lives Through Coaching. I took it to all the local junior pro departments. I said, I'd like to do a webinar for your people. A day, not a webinar. That was before webinars even existed. I wanted to do a coaching session for your people around this book. And many people said, no, we're not interested and we don't have any money for anything like this. And I said, but what if I could coach the coaches and make them better coaches? Do you believe that who's coaching your kids matters? And of course, and I finally got the city of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where I live, to let me do a 2-hour seminar for all of their coaches. They were looking for coaching education because coaches acted crazy and they needed something like this. They paid 15 or 20 bucks per coach, and I made $400, and every person got a copy of the book. Well, little did I know when I went in to give that presentation that there would be business people in there. Never crossed my mind in a million years that there would be men in that room and women in that room who were coaches that owned businesses. And because of my motivational nature and because of my cadence and because of my speaking style and because I was giving content, some of those business people began to say, how much would it cost for you to speak to my team? How much would it cost for you to come in and coach my team? And one of those people said, what if you come speak to my small business division? And I had never given any thought to that. I'm like, really? Yeah, I'd love to. I had no idea how to price. I had no idea how to charge for my services. I literally would just go give these talks many times for free. People would come up to me and say this, right? And each talk typically produced 6 more talks. Like I got 6 more engagements off every one talk, which is true even to this day. But I didn't know how to charge for my services. I didn't really have a structure yet to coach people. So one book would become 2. The second book was called The Inspirational Leader, because at that time in my life, I had made a decision that I was going to be intense and positive. I was going to be a leader that inspired people. I was going to be a leader that pulled out the best in people. Book number 2 became book number 3, This Ain't No Practice Life. And a person came along and he said, look, you don't want to write just 1 or 2 books. He said, you want to build an entire library of books. And on a piece of paper, he showed me, what subjects do you want to write books on? I said, well, I want to write one on coaching. And I wrote The Anatomy of Winning. I want to write one on doing something big from a small town, so I wrote Small Towns and Big Dreams. I want to do something that's my anthem in life, like do something big. This ain't no practice life. Right? And then every book became part of a different part of the library. Books on personal growth, books on leadership, books on business. And finally, I think my 15th book was on money, Single Digit Millionaire, how to transition from a high school basketball coach to here. So many people around the country ask me, how did you go from coaching high school kids to this? And I would like to tell you it was all by a design. It was all by me sitting down and mapping it out, but that wouldn't be true. I simply began to write what was on my heart and what I thought could help other people. And when I did, I got feedback from the market. And the more books I wrote, the more opportunities I got. And when I got in front of people, I gave it my best shot. And then it would turn into more speaking engagement. The speaking would turn into coaching assignments. And the coaching assignments would turn into a coaching program. Till eventually, about 10 years into that, I began to build structures. I began to build ways to help companies. So if you had to backtrack everything and say, Coach Burt, over the last 16, 20 years, what's been one of the most important things you've ever done? I would tell you without a doubt, it was to sit down and write that first book. It's so powerful now that we have a division of my company called Monster Publishing that can write the book for you, package it, get it on Amazon. It saves you years of your life trying to figure this out. I have a coaching summit every year. I do twice a year called the $1 Million Coaching Summit, where I teach and break down everything I've learned over the last 15 to 20 years, speaking, coaching, training, leading, building a multi-million-dollar coaching company. Like, everything is there because I didn't have a lot of that coaching. I just figured it out on my own, right? Now I can publish a book in less than 3 to 6 months. I can show you how to own the rights to that book. I can show you how to build a speaking business. I can show you how to get speaking engagements. I can show you how to charge for those engagements. I can show you how to take those speaking engagements and turn them into coaching programs or scalable products that you can sell. I can even show you how to take every stage you speak on and turn it into $150,000 of revenue. And all of this has to be coordinated. These are things I've learned over the last 20 years, guys, that I want to help you with. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you're interested how to put this puzzle together, then I encourage you, check out my $1 Million Coaching Summit. Spend 2.5 days with me at my lodge in Tennessee. Request some information about my publishing division. Let us help you package and sell your first book. Let us cut off years of your life and thousands of dollars trying to figure this out. Make it easy, man. Let me demystify it for you by breaking it down and accelerating your life.